up, y'all? It's the A&R show. It's Slim Rita here. You know the vibes.
Yeah, Anwar, we got a guest here. URL's own Brad Arthur, man. What up, Brad?
What's going on, you guys? How's everything going?
Pretty good.
Great. So this is the guy behind the scenes that everybody hears about. Everybody hears the name Brad.
Right.
You know Brad,
B-Rad.
but
right.
everybody knows the name. This is the guy.
Right. This is B-Rad. This is Brad right here. So
yeah, absolutely. That is me. That is me.
yeah.
Thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. This is the first. I think this is the first interview I've ever done.
Hey, another exclusive for us.
Yeah, I think this is the first interview I've ever done. So I'm not a big interview person. I don't know. I never was.
Oh, that's all right. Well, we're interview people, so we'll walk you through it.
Absolutely.
But no, so URL, the Crucible, which is replacing the process. So just talking a little bit about it, you know, we saw the show on Champion, the premiere with Debo and P. Shout out to those guys.
Absolutely. Shout out to Debo. Shout out to P.
Yeah, I heard your name is one of the scouts. So talk to us, man. Like, what's the whole vibe from your end?
Absolutely, I'm super excited. Honestly, like the reason I ever even got involved in battle rap, right behind the scenes and like helping out with talent and recruitment and things of that nature. The main reason I wanted to get involved is because I firmly believe that like helping people reach their dreams is like one of the most beautiful things in the world. You know what I mean? And that's just like something that I've always believed in. And I feel that like whenever you're pure and you're helping other people, you'll always like karma will always look out for you. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth. I feel like whenever you're doing the right thing, you're doing good things by people, you're doing good by people, you'll always do good for your own life, you know. And not that I'm doing it for those reasons.
No, I get what you're saying.
You feel me?
Yeah, it's like you're not. But, it's one of those things where it's natural for you. It's organic, so it's not just about the bag.
Right.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It never really was, to be honest with you. What I love about like recruiting talent and like finding newer guys and things of that nature is that like I think it's so dope like seeing New Jersey Twerk before he was New Jersey Twerk. I really think it's so dope seeing Geechee Gotti before he's Geechee Gotti. I think it's so dope like watching like a nervous wreck kind of guy walk in, you know, the PG room and everything like that, and kind of nervous, and then like take over the room and like become a different person and like become a superstar in the matter of like seconds. You know what I mean? I think that's just like a dope thing. I think that's it helps like keep battle rap going. Like in reality, like we have the top tiers, we have the vets and everything like that, the legends. And in reality, we got to start bringing in this new blood and start really progressing them.
Yeah, no, that's
my opinion.
That's a fact. No, I mean, you figure it, Lux, Verb, Mook, even the Shines, the Hitmans, these guys aren't going to be doing it 15 years from that. Well, hopefully they are. Hopefully
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully
not as active,
selfish reason. Yeah, but realistically, you know what I mean? These guys are going to get older, they're going to have their families. You know,
even if they are still doing it, they will not be battling as regularly as we see in them today.
Right.
So we definitely have to fill these cars up with a lot of new talent.
Right. So I guess, you know, you mentioned, you know, that you've done some behind the scenes scouting before. Can you give us any names of people that you've brought to the forefront already?
It's like specifically that I've scouted. Nah, I don't want to give names out. I don't want to give names out.
All right, it's all right.
We tried.
The funny part is I know some of the names, so I'm like, yeah. So I know that you have the eye for talent. We can say that.
Yeah, absolutely. I try at least. Like what my method really is like and how I like search for talent is there's a little bit of like a checklist that I kind of like run through in my mind, right? Okay. First and foremost is like, how do they look? What is their image? Like, who are they basically? And that's the first thing that goes through my mind. Second is, what is their travel experience like? Have they been on the road? Do they battle on the road often? Do they do 3-rounders as opposed to 1? Because in reality, because of that, I always try to look for 3-round battles because it shows you know how to edit properly.
Right.
I think that's like the major issue with a lot of run rounders, with like up and comers trying to get a look from a big name or something of that nature. It doesn't teach you how to, like, the editing process and how critical it is in regards to like getting your rounds out and everything like that.
Yeah, trimming the fat is what we call it on Champion.
Yeah.
Facts. So I want to watch you to see if you could trim the fat in the first round, in the second round, in the third round. Are you able to sprinkle enough fire all throughout 3? Are you only have 1 round? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the reasoning why I prefer to watch a 3-rounder as opposed to a 1-rounder. You want to make sure if you're traveling, because in reality, it's easy to be fooled by gas. You know what I mean?
Right.
You gotta really pay attention to the substance. That's something that, like, I really pride myself on, is like I really try to tune into substance. At least me personally. I'm just one of the scouts, you know what I mean? Other scouts have different methods. They've got different things they're looking for. This is just like what I look for personally. That and honestly, like, it doesn't take long for me to realize if you're a star, or if you have potential to be a star, or potential to perform at a high level on a URL platform. Because, like, the way I look at it is like, oh man, I'm gonna try to be as easy as possible. So the way I look at it is, the first time the world saw New Jersey Twerk on versus Red-Handed or Ripper, whatever his first battle was, you knew right then and there you'd want to see him versus Prez Mafia, versus Calico, versus Hitman, versus all these other names. In reality, that's how you know that he's a superstar, because right away you could start planning out different matches in your head. Right. That's the reasoning of how someone's a superstar, because they're interchangeable in so many different battles, and they could have so many different classics and different sets. Like, for example, when you know someone's not a superstar, you might ask them, "Oh, what's a good battle for so and so?" I don't know. You know what I mean? He's not a star.
Right.
That's just the reality of it. At least that's the way I think.
Right.
But that's like really what I personally look for. I'm focusing on the Midwest. I'm focusing on all the areas, actually, but I have a very dense amount of people in the Midwest that I plan on throwing a card in the coming months with a couple of other scouts, where we're going to bring a bunch of different regions together, a 2-day card that we're going to probably put together. That's going to be super dope to kind of have all the scouts pick out people that we're all high on, you know what I mean? Because in reality, we only get 2 picks.
Right.
And it's dope for example, like, there's like Floss, he's really great with scouting in the Northwest, where I don't really know too many people in the Northwest. So he's gonna bring a couple of guys that didn't make his final 2 picks for the Northwest, but he's still pretty high on. I'm gonna do vice versa with the Midwest and the South. I'm gonna be hosting an event with Don Marino coming up whenever this coronavirus shit ends.
Okay.
I'm gonna be working on an event with Pyrex Battle League. Yo, shout out to Ton from Pyrex Battle League. It's a dope card that's coming up. When all this coronavirus stuff is done, we got Survivor Series coming up. That's gonna be super dope. A whole bunch of stuff's cooking. Honestly, it's this coronavirus time is kind of weird, but it's good because it gives you a chance to, like, really sit down and focus and like meditate and like become one with yourself. You know what I mean? It's important to during this time period to, like, find inner peace and be good with yourself.
Rita and I were talking about this. We just dropped a video earlier today regarding the URL and kind of just all the things that happened, like, this week, the update, the rewind, the leaderboards, obviously the quarantine card. And it's like, this time it's forcing everybody to slow down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think, companies like the URL, they're big enough where they know that they can always improve. So this is the perfect time for, like, brainstorming sessions. Okay, what can we do to be better? There's no event coming up, so everybody can laser focus on that. I'm sorry, that laser focus, that's corporate world coming out on. But yeah, no, so
I've been there.
I think it's super dope. So let me ask some Crucible questions. All right. So we got the full rundown from P on Champion, but there were a few things that I was a little curious about. So now that we have the opportunity to talk to one of the scouts.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You know, you guys, there's 10 regions, 10 scouts. Each of you get to pick 2 people. A total of 120 guys are going to get a shot. How are you going to narrow this? So you said you're going to do the 2-day event, you know, with Don and your guy. How are you going to, like, that's one event. So how do you get the other people from the other regions? Like, is this going to be, you know, a thing where you're going to keep throwing events to try to find new talent, or are you taking word of mouth, or what?
Or are you going to use the website that's provided to also look at talent
That's
that's
a
being
fact.
uploaded? Which, you know, there's going to be a lot of talent uploaded from all
Hopefully.
areas.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I'm going to
absolutely
put that out as much as I can, because I want you guys to be able, one, I want the artists to be able to upload their talent for you guys to see it, but I want you guys to have a lot of talent to choose from. Of course, everybody has their picks from different areas that they're familiar with, but you can always
facts.
Right.
Exactly. No, I'm planning on utilizing everything, that all the tools that they're going to be out there, honestly. But definitely try shooting me some links and things of that nature. I prefer word of mouth, honestly, because the way I look at it is like, I want to find you. Like, I don't want you to find me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the way I look at it. Let me come look for you.
Yeah.
Because in reality, the way I look at it is that you might miss me. I might not take it seriously. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a whole. It might be a bad timing.
Right.
But let me find you, because I'm definitely looking. I'm always looking. So I'm definitely, like, there's a bunch of guys that I've recently found. I don't like even saying found. Well, came across
Right.
basically.
Right. Got on your radar is what we say.
I'll tell you 2 specific guys, both out of Ohio.
Okay.
But they're not my Crucible picks. But
That's
there will be honestly, because they can't. I saw them way too late. But they will be performing at this event that me and the other scouts are throwing. And wait until I tell you their background stories. Well, one of their background stories.
Okay.
So there's this guy named Ghost out of Ohio. I think Cincinnati or Columbus or something of that nature. And the first time he ever battled was on opening up Summer Madness 6.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So right?
Yeah.
It's either Summer Madness,
Drop that out 6. There.
Right. The first time he ever battled was opening up Summer Madness 6. Not a lot of people. If you were there that day, you would remember that Queen's Flip had like a couple of people come up and battle on stage or some shit like that.
Okay.
And he was one of them.
Okay.
He was the one person who like rocked the building and shit like that. I'll send you after this show. I'm gonna send you the clip to him battling the first time on Summer Madness.
Okay.
So but that was his first battle. So he's kept on battling over the course of the last 3 or 4 years or whatever since Summer Madness 6. And then on his 8th or 9th battle, he battles Chef Trez. He gets super crazy. Chef Trez texts me his battle, and I watch it, and I hit him up immediately. That's literally how a lot of it happened. And the reason, and Trez told me, he's like, "Yo, wait until you find out when he first started battling and shit like that." And it's super dope. I wish I knew his Twitter, because I would shout it out right now. But that's one person, and then the second one is like basically one of his. The league has them as like 1 and 2 punching team, basically. You know what I mean? Like, they're the top 2 guys in their league. I think it's shots fired.
Like how we say Av and Rum Nitty.
Yeah. Like, I think it's shots fired battle league. Salute to you guys. You guys are doing great work. This guy's name is Sneezy Bo.
Sneezy Bo.
All right, listen. His name is Sneezy Bo.
Okay.
And the first time I saw him was I walked into G-Lo's house, and we were hanging out or whatever, and he has this battle on, and he was like, "Yo, check out my son Sneezy Bull. He's different." I was like, "This is literally horrible." So, because his second round was just super trash.
Okay.
So a few days later, Don Marino starts texting me like, "Yo, have you heard of this cat Sneezy Bo?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's weak as fuck."
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, can I curse on this show?" I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I had no
you're
idea.
fine. You're right. It's not champion. You good.
But Don Marino's like, "Yo, he's super crazy." I'm like, "Dog, I watched him before. All I saw was his second round. It's terrible." He was like, "Watch his first." I go back and watch his first round. His first round is retarded. I hit him up immediately. And so, but that's just like a special kind of story that I feel like is always like super dope to look back on. You know what I mean? I feel like if you're a scout, you could tell those kinds of stories, and like those kinds of stories are always super dope. Like, who knows, maybe one day Ghost or Sneezy Bo are gonna be super fucking superstars. You know what I mean?
I think Sneezy Bo's gonna go by another name if he gets to the superstar.
That your favorite guy. That was probably the last time we really laughed at somebody's name. And look at where he is today. So he's sitting here, he's laughing and he's cracking jokes. You never know who might be in position next.
That's
so
a fact.
Shout out to Sneezy Bo. Shout out to Sneezy Bo.
Shout out to Sneezy Bo. All right, so here's another question I have for you. They said there were a lot of The Voice, American Idol type references in the preview or the episode talking about it. Will you guys be hands-on as far as helping actually develop the talent while they're still in the crucible? And will there be that tough love? Like, there comes a point in time where you have to tell somebody that ain't it. And are you guys as scouts gonna be, kind of taking that role, or are you gonna rely on the judges? Like, curious about that.
I'm definitely gonna rely on the judges in reality, because at my best point is really just like presenting you to the judges. You know what I mean? I'm really just saying this is my opinion. Good luck. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But in reality, like with the way I work with guys that I'm bringing up and things of that nature, is like we would go over bars and things of that nature. We would I would talk to them about their social media presence, making sure they're up on Twitter, that they have that their clip to a battle is pinned to their Twitter page, so people know that you could even rap. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shit like that. Staying active on Twitter as opposed to Facebook, because the disparity in views is astronomical.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, exactly. I need to get myself up on Twitter more often, honestly, but I should take my own advice. But I've just been.
I'm gonna drop that as a gem at the end of the interview. Like, hey, you really. But no, that's dope. I think P mentioned like the very first round. The judges aren't necessarily looking for winners and losers. It's more about who do you see the potential it factor. And the things that you're mentioning, as far as social media presence, just engaging with the fans, that's a big part of, being a star that some people still don't get.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, listen, Chase Paper, when he gets super popular, he's going to be the funniest person on Twitter in battle rap. I'm telling you that right now.
Okay.
Straight.
I follow Chase.
But there's people.
I saw him at Born Legacy. What was it? 8? I think is when I saw him at Born Legacy
8. He battled 8.
Yeah, right. Yeah, in Cleveland. And he's super talented. And then he was on Survivor Series,
up that first round. Yeah, he was on Survivor Series.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with him, and I don't see him too active on Twitter. Man, I know I follow him, but
listen, he wait until the people start following him and stuff like that. That's really what it is with him, because he always complains like, Brad, I feel like I'm talking to myself. Like, bro, you know what I mean? So that's really what it is with that. But like, for example, Truffaut, he's very active on social media.
That's a fact.
He gets it, and by the meaning of gets it is that true he knows that as long as he's in the conversation, he'll always be able to get battles booked.
Yeah.
And that's really how he operates. And he's a real he has a whole persona about him. He's like a selfless individual. He's the whole new Midwest movement's on his back and things of that nature. You know what I mean? And he's really pushing that forward. He's pushing his brand forward as opposed to worrying just about like I don't know, getting a super big name or something like that. I wish I could tell you guys the names that Truffaut usually asks for. He just wants the dog fights.
Okay.
So that's something. You know what I mean? Those are kinds of.
He put on a really good show against Brooklyn Hands, a Survivor Series, and he was. I mean, obviously the junkies like us know, you know, what I mean, who he is, but to that crowd, I think he was a relative unknown. He won them over, like, you know what I mean. So he's
absolutely walked in there with no people. You know what I mean? Into a room where barely anybody knew him. Who is this guy with a jacket battling Brooklyn Hands? That's all he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm
and
still
then,
looking
then
forward
after
to
the
the
night,
Jack Boy battle. Still looking forward.
Yeah,
to that.
yeah. I'm not sure what's going on with him in the Jack Boy battle. Honestly,
I just want to see it.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too. What?
Yeah,
he's got some shit for Jack Boy too. He's got some shit for
Jack
Boy.
got some shit for him too. Like that's the thing.
Know,
like that's why I want to see it. Like I think that
know.
they both got some stuff to say to each other. So you know those battles where you have that background, that storyline kind of thing. You know, Jack said something about him rapping with his shirt off. So it's like, yeah, like I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a great. That hopefully that gets booked down the line. That'd be a fire ass battle.
Yeah,
booked down the line.
So really quickly, I know you said you pretty much, you know, scouting your talent and handing them off, but this is a long process. Do you come back into the picture at some point in time? And is there a reward? Because the only question I didn't have answered was, is there going to be some type of reward in place for the scout whose guy wins or at least is in the top 6?
Yeah, I believe there is going to be a type of incentive for the scouts to try to get your guys to at least phase 2. Of course, you want to get all of them to the very end, but getting them onto phase 2 and moving on and so on and so forth. So I do believe there is something, an incentive for the scouts. But in reality, the way I look at it, the incentive is like getting these guys their opportunities. You know what I mean? Like that's really what the incentive is to me. Like a lot of the guys that I'm going to be picking, their entire dream is to be on Smack.
Right.
Like that. So it's a dope thing. That's a really dope
getting
thing.
a rep in front of, again, hopefully, obviously the ideal circumstance, everybody goes there and kills it on day one of phase 1, and it's like, oh, we can't cut anybody.
Yeah.
But that's not
right.
But for those guys who may not make it to that next phase, to be able to rap in front of somebody like Sue Surf or DNA or Charlie Clips and get that feedback, that genuine, like, they may never have that opportunity again. So to have that, you know, in and of itself, I think is going to be a blessing for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's another one. We keep saying these guys. The question was asked on Champion, would women be allowed? And they kind of deferred to Debo. Debo said he's okay with it. So he said, okay, scouts, women are allowed. Do you plan on, go ahead.
Do you plan on, like, if there are any females who you feel like are up to par, would you place one into the Crucible, being that this is the first one? Or would you recommend something like that for the second time around?
Listen, if you're dope to me. That's it at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a female out there that could prove she's better than any of the available guys I have for that region, then hell yeah, I would pick a female.
That's fire. That's fire. I mean, you know, I think, you know, the women, obviously we have Queen of the Ring. You know, all the leagues give women a shot, but Queen of the Ring is pretty much the women's league.
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
Now that they have the partnership with URL, I think it would be super dope to
I agree.
you know, have some more women. And when you look at the PGs, I mean, we had women in the PGs, so
Yeah.
I would hope that they still have that opportunity in the Crucible. So that's something dope to know that, you know, they are, at least the option is there. Now it's up to them to, you know, I don't want any participation awards. So, you know what I mean? They got to bring it, but it's good to know that if they do, you know, that they have a shot. So I think that's dope. So let me think. There was another question that I have. Rita asked the one about the incentive for the scouts. Oh, duh. It was announced on Champion that this was happening on April 18th or April 19th.
The 18th, I believe it was.
18th? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead on out there and say I don't think that's happening. Is URL still targeting that date, or have you guys kind of already said, like, that ain't going to happen, let's look for a new date?
To my knowledge, URL is following whatever the recommendations are of the government and things of that nature, and URL is going to be operating as a great business and moving forward and following the directives of the government, I believe.
Okay. Is that on the front or the back of the script? I don't know that. Yeah, that seems very scripted. It was like, anybody asks you about a date, here's the answer.
They're following government procedures.
Yeah. Yo, I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, I feel you. I feel you.
I mean, that makes sense. You don't want to, you know, continue to put people in danger, considering that, you know, some people are not showing symptoms at all. So you don't want to continue to put people in danger.
Right, exactly. And you know, you figure when you're bringing people from all across, because even though
well,
going to be in a region,
exactly.
So, you have somebody coming from, you know, you're doing it in New York, you got somebody who drives up from, I don't know, Delaware, and they're sick, and it's like, oh, you know, so that makes sense. You know, I'm all for it. I'm really looking forward to this, man.
Me too, man. Me too. I can't wait.
18th. I really wanted to start on the 18th.
So that'll be fine.
Because it's going to be like an 8-month process.
Yeah.
I wanted to start on the 18th so we can get to viewing these guys and what's going to be the next process.
That's carbonated wine she's drinking there, man. You know what I'm saying? You ever drink carbonated?
Mike P. It's
not carbonated. That ain't Mike P. Man, whatever.
Listen.
Man. Anyway, but yeah, so I guess, is there anything else you can tell us about the Crucible, or anything else you want us to know or want the world to know? Because we're going to put this up probably first thing in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is, you guys should have asked me this my first the first question, like where I came from, right?
Yeah. You know, it's funny.
We actually didn't dig into you.
Yeah, because and that's the bad part, because we already know you. So what in the world? Who is this Brad guy? How did you get to be a scout? What's your background? Talk to me.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna give you the full rundown of exactly how I became a battle rap fan.
Okay, this is gonna be good.
It goes back. So the very first battle I ever seen was J Mills versus Ines on the Making the Band TV show. Yeah. And the reason I was watching the show
live. I'm like, wait a minute. All right.
The reason I was watching the show is because my cousin was on the show.
Okay.
And so after J Mills and Ines battled, I became an instant J Mills fan, a huge J Mills fan, and I followed him for like a couple of battles and so on and so forth. I found him on Smack, and then as time passed down the line, you feel me? And that's how I kind of stumbled across battle rap, basically. For me, in regards to like working with leagues and shit like that behind the scenes, it's probably been about 2.5 years or so. Okay. I've been working with a bunch of different staff members at URL. I worked with KGP, a couple of other guys and things of that nature. And it's been dope. It's been a dope experience, honestly. It's been dope, very humbling. Everybody's brought me in with open arms and everything of that nature. I used to work for Norbs. Stopped working with him at the end of February. You feel me? Shout out to Norbs. I hope he's focusing on his family and everything of that nature. Okay. But yeah, that's really it, pretty much, honestly, in terms of like where I came from and my background. I wish I had like more time to really think about it. Granted, this is my first interview. I'm not an interview person, so I'm
That's
not going
all
to
right.
be doing a lot of these. But
Oh man, we might have one of the only B-Rad. Oh yeah, I gotta stop calling you B-Rad.
Now people are gonna be like, "Who's B-Rad?"
Yeah, right, exactly. So yeah, but do you feel like there's any added pressure with the Crucible? So obviously the PG process has been around. I mean, not for forever, but for forever, and it's like now it's going away. So even though everybody had all these complaints about the PGs, you know how it is. I hate cheese pizza until there's no cheese pizza. So, you know, do you feel like there's any like extra pressure on you as a scout for this new process, the Crucible?
No, not at all, honestly, because in reality, the way I look at it is, all I could really do is provide these guys the opportunity to go do that. You know what I mean? Like it's not because it's not, I don't look at somebody not being picked as a failure. I just look at it as they're not ready yet, or this isn't the place for them. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean you failed. I feel like that just means it's just maybe it's a nice way of saying you failed. I don't know. You know?
At the end of the day, you can have. This is one of those situations. So I say this on Champion all the time. You know, every 3-0 isn't a body bag. Sometimes you can have what I call a good loss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Mike P, I feel like lost to Danny Myers, but that's a good ass loss. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mike P won the second round.
I don't know about you.
Danny got the first and third, man. My opinion. But regardless.
Yeah,
you know,
salute to your opinion. Salute to your opinion. Salute to your opinion.
Here you go. Universally.
Shout out to Mike P. Shout out to Mike P.
Shout out to Mike P and Danny.
Always.
It's universally accepted.
Shout out to Danny too.
Surf beat Geechee. How about that?
Danny.
Right?
Yeah, facts. Majority of say Surf beat Geechee, correct.
But Geechee was great in that battle. So if you have one of these guys, obviously they're not going to be Surf or Geechee right away. But it's like, you know, it may not be their night, but it doesn't mean that they're a failure. It doesn't mean that they don't have it. It's just fine tuning. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Which back to the drawing board.
With these guys, I forgot because I actually left my notes at home. These guys actually won't be battling in the Crucible for some time. It's more of a constant audition process until they make their way up to
the top 6, right? I think the top 6 is who actually battles each other.
No. So basically, all right. So
before the top 6, I believe. But
phase 2 is when they'd have their own time and 3-minute rounds, the top 6 3.
Smacking them.
That's
correct.
Phase 2 is when it gets into there. However, in the beginning part, these guys aren't even battling, as opposed to in the PGs, you get to see them battle right away. Right. So it does that kind of make it a little bit more difficult in a sense to figure out like where you want to go with things.
Not necessarily, you know what I mean? Because in reality, it's gonna be operated like a TV show. You feel me? And there's gonna be a chance, at least for the scouts as well. I'm pretty sure that we'd be able to be in the building and so on and so forth, and see these guys perform and so on. I think I'm not 100% sure. I think
that'll be awesome.
We'll see.
Jay Black, JC Crest.
Shout out to Jay Black.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's fire.
Shout out to Jay Black.
Well, I don't have any more questions for you. Listen, Brad, we appreciate your time. I'm glad, this was real impromptu.
Very, very impromptu. We are so glad that you were able to have this opportunity to be a scout for the first round of the Crucible. You know, this is super dope, a super dope opportunity, something different that we're getting.
Yeah, me too.
But no, so again, thank you for taking the time out to do this interview with us, Brad. Hopefully Corona clears up soon, man. Hopefully you're staying safe, your family is safe, and maybe when it actually gets started, hopefully we can get you back on again and maybe talk about some of your picks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you guys an exclusive right now who my picks for New York.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
Go ahead.